You there, Nikki? Oh, just checking on you. Listen to yeah, take your time. It's no big deal. Yeah, like I said, those interviews were real short. I was just making kind of a point of them acknowledging, kind of putting it on themselves. Okay, cool. Okay, Bria. I'm ready when you are, bro. Um, please remind me to take the mute back off. Oh no, I was talking to the YouTube people.
Broadcast. Here's Marcus Maven and Steve Rummage.
Welcome back. It's middays with Marcus Maven. 8150 939 is the number, 939 is the station. And people, these are my favorite days. I'm almost embarrassed to admit how much I love the days like this. But you're going to find out over the next 2 hours. Steve Rummage in the building. Nick Valbano in the booth.
Man, look, this is something we've been waiting on for a while. We really enjoyed Nicky V, so to have him in the booth with us, I almost don't want to act too excited because they'll never let him back. So we are happy that Nick is in here. Nick's got headphones on. He's doing his thing.
We'll see how long that enthusiasm lasts. Over under is about 15 minutes.
It's the
before
little
I hit the wrong
things.
commercial break.
It's the little things in life, people. It's just the little things in life.
Listen, before I do anything, Nick, I asked you to get me a little something before the show. I don't know, and Nick is very good
Are we in this world?
And Nick, if you would please just, if you would
God.
indulge me for a second.
Let him go.
I just need a few minutes of your all's time to celebrate the Dallas Cowboys, baby. You thought we were done. You thought we were 0-2. You thought the season was over. But it wasn't. It wasn't over. We're now 1-1. Should be 2-0. We got the onside kick. Greg Zuerlein down the middle. Dak Prescott, 400 and some yards total. Zeke Elliott has more rushing yards through 58 games than Emmitt Smith. CeeDee Lamb is awesome. Amari Cooper is awesome. The defense is getting it together. We're coming. The Super Bowl. The Cowboys. Woo! Woo!
Give it up, give it up, give it up, people. Give it up. Excellent stick-to-itiveness by the Cowboys. excellent stick-to-itiveness
Thank you, Nick.
by the
I
Cowboys.
appreciate that.
Steve was due that, y'all. Come on now. You listen, even the people who the Cowboys aren't their favorite franchise, you knew Steve deserved that.
Man, listen, we did by pulling. Do you know how hard we pulled victory out of the jaws of defeat?
It had been digested by the defeat monster.
There is only one man alive that can pull a win out of the jaws of defeat like the Cowboys did, and that's Anthony Davis.
Oh.
Because what Anthony Davis did last night, and think about it, Anthony Davis is the only being in the universe that can win a championship for John Calipari. Like, I mean, Anthony Davis is one of the most special human beings in all of the like Anthony Davis. When you win a title for Cal, and you go and now you're bringing the Lakers back with LeBron James, like, he should be in the Marvel universe too. Like, I mean, it's just incredible.
At least be on Space Jam, right?
Yes. Like, so to do it, listen, we're going to get to Saturday, because Saturday was what it was.
Mm-hmm.
But Sunday was awesome. And what about the Reds? Since I'm just having a good day, what about the Reds taking 2 or 3 from the White Sox, just rolling
It's
along?
almost like you predicted it.
It's almost like I predicted it the other day.
On that for lunch, Bozich.
I know, right? Yeah, take that, Bozich. The White Sox. Yeah. So how about the Reds? So for as crappy as Saturday was, or not, we'll talk about that. Sunday was just piss and excellence from all day for me. Yes, no, AD could. If anybody could cure COVID, Perrin, it would be AD. Absolutely. Yeah, because I mean, I don't care. I'm like, whatever. I'm a big fan. But yes, no, it was Sunday was just, I mean, I was sitting there. I went to the bathroom. I'm pissing, and it's just like excellence. Yeah, just full excellence from the beginning of the day.
Alphabet soup style.
Till I laid my head down at night. It was great, man. So yeah, anyway, we got that going on. The only thing I could have changed yesterday was Cam Newton getting in the end zone there.
Oh no, Steve. No. Mm-hmm. That was perfect. It ended exactly how it should.
Maybe you're right.
You're right. No, listen. You go to Seattle and you give them all they want and you get flipped on the goal line for a stop. And I was rooting for Cam Newton, but It was just a perfect, early season loss, because here's the thing. You get that win, you're happy, everything's cool. Maybe a little edge comes off, maybe you start thinking you're better than what you are. I think a loss like that will keep everybody locked into a team. I enjoyed watching that New England team.
Listen, it was a good day of sports yesterday, man. It wasn't.
I could have changed one result, but for the most part, I agree with you.
I know. Yeah, that kind of sucks for you.
Right? Yes.
What you think was gonna happen?
Got to deal with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I know. Satan. Jalen looked the devil in the eye yesterday, and
it's not fun. Yeah, it's not fun.
No, I hate playing the Packers. I would rather play anybody. I'd rather play the the down south Devils than anybody than Aaron Rodgers. So
okay, Steve.
All right.
What everybody's been waiting.
The caller just called. Sorry to break in there. I told you about the 15-minute mark.
This guy sucks.
The new car smell would wear off pretty quickly. No, a caller just called and just wanted to remind Steve that to licking the frosting off your donut a little bit, saying that the only reason the Cowboys won is because the Dirty Birds are too stupid to fall on a 14-yard.
I agree with that, but nevertheless, they didn't, and we won. So I'm going to frost that donut right back up. Take a big bite out of it.
Right? It's all in the preparation.
Yeah, right. 10, 15.
Okay. So what I'll do is, because we have Nikki on the phone lines, I will open it up. Okay. 815-0939. You feel free to jump in at any point during our day's conversation on the University of Miami coming to town to take on the University of Louisville Cardinals. 3831 939. 3831 939. My man Steve Rummage is manning the text line, so we'll get both of those. We are
I'm gonna
also
try to get to almost all of them today too, if possible. If I miss, I'm sorry. I apologize. Send it again if we miss one. And I'm gonna try to get everybody's reaction.
We are also rolling on the YouTube channel, which is Made for the Ville. If you follow me on Facebook, a simple click and you will be on there. I guess I better open that up. So yeah, that's pretty much all you need to know about the ways to get in contact with us. So Steve, Miami, Louisville, everyone's expecting the same sentence because this is what we do every Monday. Macro, the Miami game left you feeling after the game and left you feeling on Monday. Go.
Okay. Let's see. Macro of the game. Macro of the game was simply this.
Are we doing this? Are we doing Saturday night or are we doing Monday morning?
Mine hasn't changed very much. Mine hasn't changed very much at all because, and a lot of times it does. So I get what you mean by that. I think everybody does. Macro of that game was what I walked right into the back today, and I was so proud to talk to Nathan Huber because he said exactly what I felt too. And it's a tough pill to swallow. It's a tough pill to swallow. But it's also a little bit of a tap on the head for Steve and Marcus when we get on here and say things like when people say, they should beat Florida State. Florida State sucks. And it's like, yeah, but they still got Florida State recruits. So, no. Here's the macro, and it's a tough sentence to say because y'all know I love my Cardinals. Miami's better. They're just better. They were better. It was apparent that they have better players as a whole. Now, don't get me wrong. Like, look, Javian Hawkins, that dude can play for anybody in the country.
And you're right, as an entire roster, top to bottom.
Yeah, I am not saying that Louisville is the little engine that could, because I think Louisville's going to win a lot of games still, and we'll talk about that as we get into the show a little bit. But Miami was impressive. Let me say that first. Miami was impressive. I do, however, again, I'm still keeping it macro, so I'm not going to break into it. But I do think that at the end of the day, you still, as a Louisville fan, go, okay, a couple mental mistakes, you're right there. But I think you're still saying things like, we're right there. And that was a little bit of a take a deep breath. You're still a year or two away from, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Being, no, we're not right there. We're better. Because I'm saying you take a couple mental mistakes away, and I'm like, well, we're right there. But I watched a personnel and a team that I think even if we were right there, they probably could have made another play than we could have.
Miami could have.
Miami could have probably made the one more play than we could have that would have won them the game still.
Yes.
So I'm not trying to say one of those like, well, we just lost because we made a couple mistakes. If we hadn't, we'd have won.
Right.
I don't know that was the case. So yeah, that was my macro takeaway. And the other thing was, look, I hate to do this too, but I'm going to do it. They kind of won me over too.
Miami's team won. Yeah.
Because when they play, that Miami team plays with a style and a passion that I feel like you're trying to emulate a little bit of how they play. So it wasn't like it was like Notre Dame doesn't do that to me.
Right.
You know what I mean? Even though Notre Dame may be a better team, and
you don't want to chase Notre Dame's energy. You don't want to chase their style, their energy. You don't feel like that's what you should be.
Yeah. So I think there was that part of it. Now, so that would be my macro. Because if I go any further, I'm going to start breaking down things that I didn't like offensively, that I didn't like defensively, and there are some things there. So
listen, I watch it and I say, This was the perfect game to teach you what you needed to know. And I know people they roll their eyes every time I do that. But Steve, I do it every time you get in a good matchup where you can be competitive and you can see emotionally where you stand. You could see physically where you stand. You could see the quick fixes. You could see the long term fixes. And like I said, during the game, I can get emotional. Oh, you could have did this and you should have did that. I can be all in the game. But once the whistle blows, it's like I would do anything to have been in that huddle on the field at the end of the game to hear what Coach Satterfield was saying. You ever notice how he seems more excited after losses? You know what I'm saying? I mean, and I have to describe it a certain way because I don't want this to be taken out of context.
Yeah.
The losses to a coach who knows there's a lot more work to do, who's not judging himself by his record right now.
Sure.
He's glad the same way I'm glad. He's glad that okay, I can go to you and say, this is why I say what I say. This is why when you do that rip move and go inside and you get a sack and I tell you, hey, that's not your gap. But coach, I did the move and got the sack. No. When you do that rip move inside and you're outside contained, if the Miami running back gets outside of you with you turning your back to him, or if you try that spin move when you're not supposed to try that spin move, he's going to be off to the races, right? And a lot of times, Yaya or somebody, you're fast enough to recover, but to get where we need to get, I have the footage. There's not a lot of 230-pound people that can run as fast as a guy you saw run for Miami on the planet, right?
Mm-hmm.
You saw that. Now I can teach my defensive end who's new to the system or something like that, or supposed to be big time in his position. I can teach a lesson. So as the buzzer goes, and right as I'm looking at the replay, I'm learning all these things in my notes. Like before you know it, I have 3 pages of notes of all things where I can say, okay, 92% of these things are a coaching moment. Now, I'm gonna replace the word fixable with a coaching moment because some fixes will take multiple games. One fix will take an attitude adjustment. That 8% or the whatever percent that's not fixable is the dude conversation. I sent you a picture. Can you describe the picture I sent, the kickoff picture?
Yeah. I mean, it's just
the picture of the sideline, Steve.
Yeah.
At kickoff, told you that we're short a couple of dudes.
Yeah.
Okay. I tell you what.
Do you want me to?
You want to hit the phone lines?
Yeah, let me do that really quick, and then we'll get back to it. Cause I do want to let people get in.
Oh, okay, we can do that.
Jackson, welcome in. What's going on?
People criticize the defense, and Grant, they had some mental breakdowns. I just think the big key, and I know, Steve, you're a football guy, they got to change their philosophy defensively.
Mm-hmm.
A bend but don't break defense will not work when you're undersized, you're rushing 3 guys, dropping 8 on 3rd and long. That won't work. Your 3 have to be beasts if you're going to rush 3. And so I think they need to change their philosophy because if you even look at last year, Louisville gave up more points to Miami last year than anyone. That includes Bethune-Cookman. You look at, they didn't even score a touchdown against Louisiana Tech in their bowl game. And what I try to tell people is this: make a quarterback be a quarterback. This is their 2nd game running that new offense. You have to throw 5, 6 guys at them rushing, more guys they have to defend because they're new to that offense. So you want to screw them up. But if you just drop 8, he's going to pick you apart. Any decent quarterback's going to pick you apart.
Yeah. No, look, I appreciate it. I mean, I don't disagree with that. I mean, to an extent, today is look, I'm totally not with anything I saw over the last couple of days, as far as questioning necessarily the coaching. But I do think play calling on both sides of the ball was A little iffy.
It has to be earned,
Yeah.
though, Steve.
Yeah.
The play calls that we want to see, you know what happens? If you don't, put it this way, if you don't teach foundational football, you'll be covering up scars forever.
Yeah, sure.
Does that make sense?
I do 100% agree with that.
Yeah, right. So I have no problem with results that don't make you react to instant fixes. Okay, we can't get there with 4, so we got to send 5. So we got to send 6. Okay, so now for the rest of the season, we're sending 6 guys to the quarterback every time we got to play, right? You can't live like that. You can't build your football team like that. As much as I would like to, like for you said this, Steve, maybe last week. It's kind of a joke, but it's not a joke. But we all kind of say it's a common theme. You say, hey, you find a way to get to the Clemson, and all you got to do is win one game, right?
Yep.
When you get into one game, I need this game, I'm okay with that. But I'm not going to jump to scheme or jump to panic style play. No, because here's the thing. If I can't play a loose, deep zone, kind of a prevent, whatever, that's going to haunt me for a long time to come. So I understand them saying, no, we're going to teach them to do this kind of stuff. We're going to teach them to keep the ball in front and pursue and make tackles.
I agree with that 100%. Now, let me ask you
It's
a
hard
question.
to watch, though. It's hard. It is hard to watch.
It's brutal. It's brutal. I agree with that when it's happening, especially when you have excitement and expectation, which, let me say real quick before I ask you this question, I am excited that there's expectation again.
Yes.
I'm excited to be – I'm actually excited. I know it sounds silly. Hey, that's Nick. He just reminded – he wanted people to know he's still there. See, Brian Hall. See, Brian Hall just jumps in with his voice. Nick jumps in with his ding. Yeah, so we got that going. I was excited to hear people be upset about a loss too, because as much as I did enjoy last year, and I loved what we did, being a football purist, I'm just glad they played hard. Kind of started to wear on me a little bit because I'm like, yeah, y'all are right. But look, I'm going to do my whiny voice. But I like real football. I don't want my team to be the did they play hard or not to be the how good was Saturday?
Yeah, because, but here's the thing. We're not rebuilt. We're not as far off the rebuilding track to really have that attitude. You know what I'm saying?
No, because
I know what you're saying, though. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I'm just going to say, because there was a part of me that I did that last year, and I almost complained in my own brain about it. But then I found myself on Saturday night going, I do like how this team doesn't stop. So that was something that was built from last year that he's built on.
Here's the thing, though. Speaking of there's the play hard part of it, right?
Yeah. And
then there was something that was said in the press conferences, in the post-game press conferences. I assume that, Nikki, you weren't able to track it down. It is no big deal at all. People can take my word for it. I have no reason to lie about these things. But I heard them in the press conference, Steve, and we're kind of going to transition into gameplay, here. But here's the thing. In the post-game press conference, I heard accountability. I heard Javian Hawkins. Somebody is going to say, oh, the line, that's not a Western line. And when you listen to the accountability of Javian Hawkins, who had 162 yards, Javian Hawkins says, oh, no, man, the holes were there all night. The lanes were there all night long.
Yeah, he did.
Almost 162, and disappointed he didn't have 262. Right?
Yeah.
Not in a personal way, in a complimentary way. When I heard, I believe it was C.J. Avery say, no, we missed assignments. They told us what to do. We missed the assignments. individual, or I don't think I think he worded it a little nicer, but CJ Avery saying, no, that wasn't yeah, okay, yeah, that part was frustrating or that part was demoralizing or whatever. No, that happened because we missed assignments. Now, once you start thinking like that, or once you start mixing.
Well, CJ Avery took it a step further even. CJ Avery said one guy.
Oh, yeah, on the play. You're right.
Name, but
right.
He did. He flat out said, hey, one guy, I'm paraphrasing, but basically one guy didn't know what he was doing.
Right.
And that cost us big time.
And I'm okay. Listen, and here's the thing. Last year, before the buy-in, that sentence is not okay.
I agree. Because, okay, this is a good point. Yeah.
1 year later,
yeah,
I can call you out. I love to watch as an adult, as a coach, as an examiner of sports psychology. I love when teammates can talk to each other in an intense moment, and it just looks like what accountability looks like as adults. Yeah. There's no one guy. It's not a boss, a boss employee thing. It's not a, you described, speaking of yelling and accountability, you described a play, Steve, to me that I didn't catch. Can you describe that play? Was it Boykins who you were describing? Who was yelling about a play that somebody wasn't going to be in the right place?
No, it was Lovie Jenkins.
Okay, Lovie Jenkins.
Yeah, Lovie Jenkins, man. On that last, I think it might have been the long Jordan touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's clear that you've got you've lost safe help over the top,
mm-hmm.
and you've got 3-on-2 on one side on the low side of the field, and Lovie Jenkins is screaming at somebody like I mean, he you can tell, and
mm-hmm.
From a true freshman, and actually one of the first texters says, do we think Lovie Jenkins will start next week? I do.
That's a good IQ texter.
I think you'll go. I think you'll go to the freshman over Hayes and Fago, and I think you'll run with my Louisiana freshman. So or actually Lovie Jenkins is Florida. Greedy Vance is Louisiana.
Listen, and don't let that go unnoticed when we tell you, okay, this recruit from this hotbed of recruiting, there's a certain bit of football player, not talented recruit, right? What I mean by that is where places where football is king, there might just be a little more attention to the football game and not the you and I kind of laugh about this, not the workout warrior who runs the time but doesn't play in the competition areas where certain people play in, not the Cartersville. And then you start moving in some of the, I know how to play football. I know assignment football. I know how to control my eyes. I'm just not a recruit that's on the board because I'm talented. These are some football players that Coach Satterfield is bringing in from football places who may understand assignments a little better.
No, absolutely. So he noticed correctly, that it was like, okay, we've got to figure something out here. Man.
Right, and while you search for a reason to crush everybody, you noticed that, Steve. So you're saying, okay, people were able to identify what was going on, but there's a miscommunication. Again, this is first year guys that understand a little better than some guys that were on a team when you were 2-10. Like there's gonna be some transition. Okay, you're gonna have to weed out. Coach talked about when the guys came back. He said there's about 21 guys that's ready to run with the Wolves.
Yep.
He tell you that. On the guys that return, we got 21 that's ready to run with the Wolves. The second pack, they need some improvement. The rest of the guys I don't know about.
Let me unload some of this text line real quick.
Okay.
I know people are wanting to get in. Says Miami's players weren't better; they were coached better. I don't necessarily know about that, but I will say when I said they were better, I didn't just mean I wasn't just throwing that on the players. Like I mean, I think they were better on Saturday night, And so I mean, while that's not, I'm not necessarily saying man to man. Okay, I would take Manny Diaz over Scott Satterfield necessarily, but I'm saying I think as a whole, they had of course, Manny Diaz. Now you remember he was the defensive coordinator. He's been there with these guys.
Right.
Like, it's not like he's a new guy.
Right.
But I just wanted to make sure I wasn't just throwing that on like, well, their players just better than ours. That's the only reason we lost. Yeah, there were mistakes schematically.
Listen, there were a lot of mistakes. But here's the thing, Steve. If you're better at certain positions against Louisville, it's going to make the product look a lot different. It always goes back to your acknowledgement of Josh Allen. You got one guy that can contain, that can put pressure on a quarterback all game long. Everybody, my cornerbacks are better. My safeties are better. My linemen who have to double this guy are better. All these things. So I'm going to say this, Steve. I sent you a video of one of the first, in the first 5 minutes of the game. I sent you a video, Steve, of Miami's defensive end.
Yeah.
Did you see what I was talking about?
Yeah.
Kind of sum up what I showed you.
Let me pull it up real quick because I'm watching it. I'm watching it again in real time to just I mean, okay, like right there, for instance. I mean, you're talking, okay, you have a guy who gets cut block, all right?
Yep. Who gets cut block by Marshawn Ford, who's a good blocker.
Yeah, but and you remember where we were talking about the extra 3 inches or so?
Yeah.
Like this guy, man, when you take a cut block off the edge, you can catch yourself and still have closing speed to close on a guy like Malik Cunningham. Because I mean,
when you're 6'5".
Yeah, when you're 6'5", yeah. And it's like, okay, that's the things that those plays like that were what made me go, okay, we're still a good team. I think we're still going to win 8-9 games.
Yeah. Okay. So, people, the reason I sent Steve this video is because Marshawn Ford, full dive in cut block. The guy, I mean, that defensive end number 15 was on his belly, but laying on Marshawn Ford. But listen, he was back on his feet in 1 second max. He went from being cut block to on his feet. He got on his feet, and Malik Cunningham was running a play action pass, and he was up pressuring a rolling out Malik Cunningham instantly. We're talking about 6'5" in Malik Cunningham's face, and Malik couldn't turn the corner on him. And that's the guy who's chasing down Javian Hawkins, chasing down Malik Cunningham. That's a big time professional player at defensive end, which he will play in the pros. He's a professional defensive end.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And he's going, like I said, that's what you have. That's just a position that's tough to deal with, even if you're a good team.
Yes, no, absolutely.
You got more on the phone line?
We got a few. Let me get a couple more texts in here. I'll kind of rapid fire some of them before we get to break. That way we don't put Nick behind.
Uh-huh.
He gets flustered, and he's gonna be in there.
I'm
pouting.
so startled.
So anyway,
different back here.
Says, I feel like those are fixable mistakes. Take away that long run. Our defense gave up 85 yards on 29 carries, and it did well against Kings running. I agree with that, and that's why I said earlier, it's like I'm not going to say a couple mental mistakes and you win the game, because I was impressed with Miami, and I think they may have still had enough to make one more play than we did.
And they brought the juice.
Sure. I mean, they wanted that one. It's a different story, man. So says, hey guys, our defense, yeah, there you go. Our defense stopped the NCAA streak of a passing touchdown and a rushing touchdown in the same game. Oh, that's a good one to break. Let me see. Just looking. Says, sorry, I'm grabbing a couple. Okay, that's about all we got. Oh, over here we go. Plain and simple, third down play was terrible, dumb mistakes, and some bad play calling. We'll get to that.
We'll get there.
We'll get to that.
We'll get there directly.
Totally
yeah, we'll get there directly after this commercial break. Middays with Marcus Maben. Talk about third downs on 9 to 9 Ville.
As we head towards football season and the fall, there are plenty of steamy days ahead. So if you think your AC won't make it to the end zone, then call DFH Company
Maven,
today.
I'm listening.
I found that CJ Avery thing. Sorry, like literally right after you asked for it. It was on YouTube. So we didn't have it in our box, but they had posted it on YouTube, and I got it cut. There's like 3 questions. It's like Kent, Taylor, Kent. And it's just addressing those like defensive breakdowns. If you want to revisit it in the
second hour, yeah, I may do that.
So we have it.
Okay, appreciate it.
It's only like a minute 10.
Perfect.
So it's not outrageously long.
Okay, perfect.
That's what she said.
Thanks. Can you put the sound back in my ear, Nikki?
Their knowledge, professionalism, and
That's
attention
just for
to
the
detail
YouTubers.
were absolutely top-notch. Bottom line, Realm Construction did everything they said they would do and more.
Okay. It's going to go silent for a couple seconds.
Genesis Diamonds has the best prices, but you need to know Genesis also has the best diamonds, the ones with the most sparkle and brilliance.
Some diamonds are just not good enough to go in a Genesis box.
Wendy Canavan, Vice President at Genesis, says these are not like the diamonds you see at the mega corporate chain stores.
We're not like the chain stores. Our owner is so picky. He goes through hundreds of diamonds in order to buy 20. He will not allow his customers to buy an inferior diamond.
In fact, the diamonds that Genesis rejects are often sold to internet retailers and corporate chain jewelers.
No one wants a foggy diamond. No one wants a hazy diamond. And you won't see that at Genesis Diamonds.
What you will see is one of the largest selections of GIA certified diamonds in America. Each one hand-selected for maximum brilliance because, well, that's what she deserves.
You don't want people to say, oh, your ring's okay. You want people to say, wow.
Genesis Diamonds, Shelbyville Road Plaza, official jeweler of the Louisville Cardinals and the Kentucky Wildcats.
Commonwealth Dodge Ram is your destination for quality pre-owned vehicles and Chrysler certified pre-owned. As the area's #1 Dodge Ram dealer, we have a great selection of quality trade-ins for every budget, and they come with our lifetime powertrain warranty. Our finance department has been helping folks get into the right ride for decades, even if you've had credit issues, bankruptcy, or repos. Our credit experts work with dozens of lenders to find the absolute best deal for you. And our factory certified service department has what it takes to keep you on the road.
We're Commonwealth Dodge Ram. We're right on Preston and always right on the price.
The teams are back in action. Get that same feeling starting a new job with UPS. Join Team Louisville as a warehouse worker and take pride in a good day's work. Earn $14.50 per hour and up to $150 per week in bonuses. Search and apply now at upsjobs.com/Louisville.
Week 2 of football is in the books. There's no better place to get in on all of the Week 3 action than with DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app. To add to the excitement of Week 3, DraftKings Sportsbook is giving all new users the chance to turn $1 into $100 when they bet on any team. That's right, you can place a $1 bet on any team, and if that team wins, you cash a cool Benjamin. Download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code WLCL when you sign up to get this can't-miss offer. Pick any team during Week 3. Bet $1 on them and win $100 if they
Chris,
win.
that's not Craig.
That's $1 to win
Russ.
$100 when you use promo code WLCL during sign-up. For a limited time, only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older. Indiana only. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Something on your mind? Hit us up on the UPS Jobs text line, 3831-939. Here's what you missed on the Diener Show.
Can we talk? I can't believe this is about leaving my notes at home. Screws everything up. The ads on the ACC network. They've got the cup call thing. Yeah, the Hurricane Chill. Projects. That was the game. Projects. Looks like the worst. It looks like Duck Hunt, like the beta version of Duck Hunt. I mean, it looks like prehistoric.
Weekday morning, 7 to 10 on 93.9 The Ville, ESPN 680 and 105.7.
Time now for a Kentuckiana Sports Center update.
Buongiorno, we're doing it live, baby. I'm Nick Valvano, the Sports Center Update brought to you by Commonwealth Dodge Ram. Right on Preston, right on Price, CommonwealthDodge.com. The Cards, they fell to Miami this weekend, 47-34 on the gridiron. Tutu Atwell, he caught 2 TDs. Javian Hawkins rushed for 164 yards and a score, but it was back-to-back defensive breakdowns that cost Louisville dearly. CJ Avery, post-game, addressing them.
One of them was we didn't have an edge, and the other one, they did like a pop pass, and it was just, a guy didn't do their job, didn't take their man. So it really was on us not doing our job.
U of L, they dropped to 24 in the latest AP. Miami, they rise to 12. The Cards head on the road to 21 Pitt Saturday. And in the NFL, Lamar Jackson, he throws for 204 yards and a TD to help his Ravens vanquish old ACC frenemy Deshaun Watson and the Texans 33-16. More Maven and Rummage next. This is SportsCenter.
Middays with Marcus Maben on 93.9 The Ville.
Welcome back. It's Middays with Marcus Maben. 8150-93.9 is the number. 93.9 is the station. Don't think your clever musical choice will go by unnoticed. This is a big-time musical evaluation fan base. So good job, Nikki, in your September. I'm listening. No, listen, Steve. We may have one of our segments. Yeah. We may have one of our segments where we actually get the lyrics to this one. I'm sure you've been. Yeah, you can pull it down so I can unmute the YouTube channel. But yeah. That's station money, Steve. That's station level money.
I got to be honest. I'm a big fan of bootleg stuff. So like, I'm constantly trying to time out for the promos. Okay, can I use this song? Okay, it's only 30 seconds of it. Here we go. Let's roll those dice. Let's see if MGM or whatever.
Oh man, MGM. They're the worst. They're the worst. They hunt me down. Like,
I would say you two disgust me, but I am actually in the process of I think is what I'm going to do is cut my cable completely and go get one of those stream genies. Like you get pay-per-views and everything. Yeah, they sell them right there at the awesome flea market in Shepherdsville.
No, but here's the thing. While you're cutting the cord, I am reversing my stance on cutting the cord. For the first time in years and years, I finally got the NFL Sunday ticket. And Steve,
yeah,
it's always been a fun little challenge. I mean, you know how I take these challenges that shouldn't be challenges, but I make them into personal challenges. Like, why would you do that, Marcus? But I do that constantly. It's something that adds excitement to my life. Steve, on Sunday, I went to Kroger.
Yep, naturally.
I get my game day prep, and I'm basically going to be bunkered down here for the next 48 hours. So, I had to stock up, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
On all the goods.
Yeah.
And so I go to checkout, and then I realize this will be quick because we're going to get right back into the conversation.
By all means, I mean, as much as I would love to talk about my team getting their butts kicked, please.
So listen, I'll give the Cliff Notes version. Okay. Of course, I go to check out. I don't have my bank card, right?
Right.
but I don't have my bank card. And you know how I have the little wallet that's attached to the phone. The reason I always assume I got it is, I mean, who leaves without their phone?
Right.
Nobody does that. But it was just it was a quick run, and then I had to get the look from the lady like, let me guess, you don't have your money, and I'm just like, gosh darn, now I gotta ask her, can I sit here? The reason I would have took the stuff back, Steve, and then came back later and got the food, but it was the last New York strip steak in the area. I didn't see any other ones. So I was like, there is no way that I'm putting this perfect New York strip steak that I'm gonna have Monday night. I'm not taking this thing back, right? So I'm like, no, I gotta sit this thing up here, bag it up. She says, okay, go get your card or whatever. I mean, I assumed it was in a car. Turns out it's at home. So now I'm speeding up and down the street, to get, because I got to make it to game time, right? I ended up, I had to go all the way home. I got my phone, got my card, went back, got my food, got home, and this will be around the time when I'm finding out which of my bootleg, the last, couple minutes, which of my bootleg sites are acting right today, or whatever. Now that I have Sunday ticket, I came in the door at like 12:53.
Oh, it's the best.
And I took another look at my fantasy lineups, knowing that when I turn on the TV, it's going to be there. And it was just a different feeling that I hadn't experienced in years and years.
It's awesome. I put out on social media, I had 4 games going at once, and then, of course, when the Cowboys are on, I get to, I went back to that. Because usually, I don't have to use Sunday ticket to get the Cowboys because the Cowboys are always on national. So, but yeah, I needed it yesterday. So it was a beautiful thing. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, consistency was key on that one. So
it was a good, and we didn't even gave Lamar a shout out either. But I mean, Lamar Jackson got a W. Don't forget, we're your home for Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens right here on ESPN Louisville. Next Monday, the Chiefs at the Ravens, 7:45, right here on 93.9 The Ville. So yeah, I mean that was awesome. You want me to get to these phone lines? We got a couple.
Absolutely.
As soon as Nick tells me who they are.
It's a surprise.
Oh, a surprise. Okay.
I was literally about to send the text now, but how about we go to Jackson first?
Jackson first. Didn't I already go to Jackson? No.
This is Joel. What's up, baby?
Yeah, it's Joel.
Joel, how's it going?
You're the worst.
I told you, man.
Nick, come on, man. Come on, Nick.
Yeah, we totally misjudged him. All right, go ahead. Sorry, what's up, Joel?
Good. Hey, fellas. So, my thing is, and Steve, you talked about this a little bit in the beginning about Miami, or as far as like FSU and Miami. I mean, I generally never get upset because at the end of the day, Miami and FSU rosters, regardless of where they're at, they're loaded. Okay, there's 5 stars all up and down those lineups all day long. So when you compare a roster, if you're really into star rankings and all that, I mean, yeah, they're way above Louisville, and they're going to be generally yearly. But my thing is with Saturday, okay, is basically, overall, I mean, for the whole group, I mean, I thought the coaching staff to the players to all of it was not good. I didn't think Cunningham was basically off. I mean, he did okay. I guess his numbers came out okay, but to me, didn't look like he had a good game.
Yeah. Me and Marcus talked about. I didn't mean to cut you off there, Joel, but Marcus and I talked about that this weekend too. That numbers at the end of the day don't always reflect.
The story.
What you did. And I don't think he was his best Saturday.
He wasn't his best.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing I was kind of confused about, and I know people and teams make adjustments and do different things. I get that, but even leading up to that game, the one thing I heard as far as the Miami defense weakness was their secondary. Right?
Yeah.
And to me, we definitely didn't push the ball downfield near enough than what I expected. I mean, my thing is, at the end of the day, too, on defense, again, when you go into year one, everything's new. You got the staff, the whole scheme, all that's new. I get all that. Year 2, and to me, the defense wasn't about, on Saturday, us not having the dudes, right? Like, to me, we cannot have the dudes, but we had 3 situations there in which these guys didn't even know what they were doing. Like, it's one thing if a guy's open and at least the Louisville defenders are within, 5 yards, and he's just not athletic enough, fast enough to catch a guy.
Yeah.
But to have those type of assignments blown where a guy doesn't even know where to line up or who to cover or what. My thing is, the other thing on that, guys, is, look, as far as I know, unless it's changed, you can use timeouts on defense as well, right? Like, to me, when that Miami sideline was hooting and hollering to De'Aaron King to throw it to that guy on the outside who was wide open because he wasn't covered, well, our sideline guys, our staff, should have seen that too, right?
Well,
like,
yeah,
to me.
No, I do agree, Joe. I'm sorry, we just got a full bank though. I got to get to him. But I do agree with what Joel's saying there too. I mean, that's why I said early. Like, I'm not just pinning this on the players.
Listen, I respect dudes though.
Yeah, me too, and that's why I say. I mean, listen, Nate Huber was in the back. And he said, dude, I was there. I was at the game. I was sitting a few rows off the field. He said, Malik never went deep because it wasn't there.
Listen, Steve, there was a play that they showed. It looks like it almost looks like an all 22 from right behind Mikael Cunningham's head. You can clearly see at least three routes going right behind you. You can see exactly what Malik is looking at, and you can see they're slow developing plays. So he would have had to kind of just toss it out there on faith. On a couple of those plays. And it's easy to say, let it go, just let it go. But you're not the one throwing the pick, and you're not the one hearing every day that.
And Marcus, I said that. No, I wanted to interrupt there because I said that on Saturday night.
Just not letting it go.
Let it go. I called you. I said, Marcus, if he's not going to let the ball go, then you got to put somebody in there that will let it go.
Mm-hmm.
That was where I was Saturday night. Watching the game for the first time.
Right.
Because, listen, the O-line was sufficient. They were good enough. There was time to throw the football.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm watching the game live, and I'm saying this to say, okay, if you were saying this during the game, I'm not necessarily saying you're wrong either.
Right.
Because I was saying it. I was saying he's got time to throw. You got to let it go. And, to the point where I was like, if Conley or Webb will let it go, my God, put him in the game and let him throw it. But rewatching it, it just wasn't there. There was nothing to throw.
Like I said, you could, but it's asking somebody to be more confident in their arm or the scheme.
Sure.
Than they really are. And just sometimes that's unfortunate. Sometimes in the film study, I can say, why don't you throw it? And sometimes I can say, hey, bad on you. Like when we talk about, actually, hit the phone lines before we get to the
Let's clean these phone lines and some of the text out here before we get the break, and then we can get back nerdy again in the second hour. Softball Dad Dustin, welcome in, man. What's up?
Hey, let me just preface this with one. I respect all of Lawrence's takes.
Sure.
I don't necessarily want to turn into Lawrence, and I say that affectionately. I called in Diener today.
Yeah.
About s'mores.
Okay.
I did hear that. Foil.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Right. And I'm calling into y'all.
Okay.
And Nick said, "Dude, go for the hat trick.
Yeah.
Call in afternoon."
Yeah.
So I may or may not do that. I don't want to be doomsday, skies falling, chicken little guy.
But
anything better. Right. Hey,
but you're going to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't be offended. But
fair enough. Yeah. LOL.
Nobody's talked about our kicking game necessarily. You all talked about their kicking game.
Yeah. Yeah.
And nobody. Did you all? I've been in and out of cars. Did anybody talk about Western's loss yet?
We haven't yet.
Okay. Well, listen. Oh, and Steve, dude, I normally kind of bust your chops, and never Marcus. But Marcus, it's your turn.
I'm listening.
Like this.
Who's paying for that Sunday ticket? I'm just asking.
Well, you're going to drop that smoke grenade and get on off the line, because I'm not answering that question.
Appreciate it. Yeah, that's
100%.
yeah. Some of us
Fire
have
away.
kids that play in the league, and some of us are Steve Rummage. D, welcome in, man. What's going on? D, you there?
No, this is Wayne.
Oh, Wayne. Okay, sorry. Nick Valvano.
Damn it, Nick.
He's the worst producer on the planet. So yeah.
Fire away.
Oh, sorry, Wayne. What's up?
Yeah. How you guys doing this morning?
Good.
I'm okay.
Good. Yeah, I wasn't really disappointed in the contest. What we saw Saturday was Miami was just bigger, stronger, and has better athletes. And we're striving to get that level of athletes.
Sure.
And but now one of the things that did disappoint me, though, I saw the same thing last year. I don't understand how they're messing up on the defensive backfield coverage, letting guys get
An
open.
official broadcast partner of the University of Louisville, WLCL Sellersburg is 93.9 The Ville.
Sorry about that. I had to get that in.
Yeah, I don't understand how that can be happening. I saw the same thing last year, and then I saw it again Saturday. And also, we didn't help our cause by giving them points. You have to make them earn what they get.
No, listen,
Now,
Wayne, that's an absolute fact. That's why the coach goes out of his way to try to teach keeping plays in front of you, teaching them how to earn it before you start risking everything by all the blitzes and stuff that everybody wants to see.
Right. But overall, though, I think we're going to be fine. Now, one thing Miami did find out that Hawkins is a baller, and so is Tutu. So it's people on Louisville's team who can play for Miami. They can play for anybody in the country. But I think they're going to be fine. They'll after they get through looking at the film, they'll see what they didn't do, and they'll know what they need to do to correct it, and they'll be ready for Pitt. And then also one other thing, and then I'm going to let somebody else have it, and I appreciate you guys giving me my time. I'm looking forward to Lamar and Mahomes.
Ditto.
That's going to be the game, early game of the year. I can't wait for that. Should be very entertaining. And what I'm seeing, and I told a buddy of mine last night, Lamar's on the same trajectory as Mahomes. You know, each year he improves. Same thing, Mahomes. So they learned from last year what they didn't do. So they'll be in the Super Bowl. And I'm going out and saying they're going to win, but Kansas City's not going to repeat. It's hard to repeat. But I think this will be Baltimore's year, and Lamar's getting ready to get paid. And as always, Maven, Rummage, you know what I think about you guys. You're two of the best.
Appreciate it, Wayne.
Go Cards.
Appreciate you, Wayne.
Appreciate it. Oh, yes. Was he freaking out? Coming up next, here is your chance to get into your real detailed football information. Middays with Marcus Maven on 93.9 The Ville. We good?
Ahead of the design curve.
Wendy Canavan, Vice President of Genesis, where they have been selected by the most discriminating and most prestigious designers in America.
Not everybody can carry these designers. They're exclusive to Genesis Diamonds because these designers wanted to put them in the very best store they could, and they selected Genesis.
We're talking the best of the best. World-class names like Tacori, Viraggio, Henry Dawsey, Simon G., Jeff Cooper, and dozens more.
The designers don't want their rings in every jewelry store in America. They only want them in stores that are as picky about quality and customer service.
Psych, I don't mean this season. I mean that roster has a lot of kids that can play.
This is the only thing she's going to wear for the rest of her life. Don't you want it to be the best?
Genesis Diamonds, best selection, highest quality, unbeatable value, guaranteed. Shelbyville Road Plaza, official jeweler of the Louisville Cardinals and the Kentucky Wildcats.
Hey guys, golfing season is back, and what better way to celebrate
don't-
than
don't
with a
be-
round
don't
at
be the
Wooded View
everybody
Golf
sucks
Course in
guy.
Clarksville. Located
So
just
any
minutes
win,
from
they
downtown
any win
Louisville
you
off
get, they
Veterans
suck.
Parkway and I-65.
And if you lose,
Wooded
you're
View
the
Golf
worst
Course
team
is
ever.
convenient and affordable. Wooded View also features a pro shop, lounge, and an outdoor patio to relax for before and after your round. Schedule your tee time today at woodedviewgc.com. Again, that's woodedviewgc.com.
GE Appliance Park is now hiring full-time positions, and for a limited time, second shift new hires are eligible for a $500 incentive. Apply today at makeitathepark.com. GE Appliances. We make good things for life.
When Matthew McConaughey plays you in a movie, it puts you in the public eye for life. And that's what the movie 2 for the Money did for me. I'm Brandon Lang. In the 15 years since the movie came out, only one thing has changed: my hairline. To put it bluntly, I was going bald. That's where the Parsley Waldman Hair Center came to the rescue. From the minute I walked in the door to the time I left, things couldn't have been more perfect. And now my confidence is back with a full head of hair. Now listen up. Right now they want to save you some money. The consultation is free, and if you mention this ad, Dr. Waldman will knock $500 off your procedure if you book by the end of the year. This is something they've never offered before. Parsley
2-minute
Waldman
break.
even has financing available
BRB.
through Care Credit. This has never been done in their history, and trust me, the office is safe, sanitized, following all CDC guidelines. Go to hairsurgery.com right now. That's hairsurgery.com and take the first step in getting your confidence back. Parsley Waldman Hair Center. Isn't it about time you look young again?
I'm former Louisville basketball player Luke Hancock. When the NCAA tried to take away the Most Outstanding Player Award from the 2013 tournament, I got it back, thanks to Morgan & Morgan. Morgan & Morgan is the personal injury firm that fights for the people, and their team treats clients like family. Morgan & Morgan changed my life, and if you've been injured in a car crash, at work, or in a slip and fall, they may be able to change yours. For a free consultation, dial # law on your cell phone. That's #529, offices Louisville.
It's a jam-packed weekend with the NBA playoffs, the U.S. Open, and week 2 of the NFL schedule, and we will have complete coverage for you Monday with me, Greeny.
Catch Greeny from 12 to 2 p.m. on 93.9 The Ville.
Here's what you missed on The Drive with Mark Ennis.
So let's go ahead and bring him in here. He is with the ACC Network. Mark, I know you've been one of the guys kind of banging the drum for Mikhail Cunningham as somebody, hey, if you pay a little bit more attention to that guy coming in to this season, what do you see when you watch him? What do you like about him? What kind of year do you expect from him?
I really love the way he plays. I love how he throws the deep ball. The only thing, my biggest knock against him a year ago was just, trying to finish runs too physically and getting knocked around. He's not built for that, or at least he wasn't a year ago. Hope if he stays healthy, he's my dark horse for the player of the year in the league. And people probably know this, you've probably mentioned it on your show, but if he had just one more attempt, he'd have qualified to be ranked in the QB rating nationally. He'd have been number 2 in America behind Joe Burrow. So if that stat would have come out, I think a lot of people would be talking about him across the country.
The Drive, weekdays 3 to 6 on 93.9 The Ville.
We're proud to partner with our favorite go-to caffeinated beverage, Focus. Not Focus with an F, but with a PH.
When the reality of COVID-19 hit, our friends at Focus donated over 200,000 cans of Focus to nearly 400 hospitals across the U.S. to keep those on the front lines fueled.
And good news, now you can find Focus at more Kroger's, Thornton's, Liquor Barn, and Party Mart, as well as all the usual spots like Rainbow Blossom, Heine Brothers, Paul's Fruit Market, and CVS.
Or save 15% when you use code ESPN15 at www.drinkfocus.com. Focus.
Marcus, you're getting about 30 seconds. You
buddy.
know I am.
Today. Marcus?
You know I am. Yes, because I'm here. You know I am. I'm here ready to roll. You okay? Nikki.
When you are buying or selling a home, you have a ton of questions that need to be answered. Well, what if I could
you
answer
okay?
those questions with 3 simple words? Call Josh Jarbo. Josh specializes in residential real estate, getting buyers the home of their dreams and sellers top dollar for their home with the best negotiating skills in the industry. And if you tell him you heard about it right here, you'll receive up to a $5,000 seller's credit. So contact Josh Jarbo today at 502-216-7590 or joshjarbo@remax.net.
It works. Welcome back. Welcome back. It's Middays with Marcus Maven, 8150 93.9 is the number. 93.9 is the station, people. Although it is a perfect day outside, your temperature control in your home is still the most important luxury you may have. That's why DFH Company is the company for you. Simply dial 968-6222 or look them up online at dfhcompany.com. Look into that Mitsubishi Mini Split for that hard to heat, hard to cool room in your home. Again, simply call 968-6222 or it's just as easy to look them up online at dfhcompany.com. You didn't pre-read the well, fire away, Steve. Right back into the detailed part of the game. I think this is the part where people get emotional because a lot of times you want to identify. And here's the thing, Steve, in 2020 and 2019 and 2017 or 2018, whatever, there has been an extra rush. First thing you want to do is look to the coaches. I had a couple of epiphanies that I will not share on air unless I get really agitated. But in order to incite panic, you have to find a way to blame the coach every time. In order to be a good, argumentative, or people feel like that, like the sports person in me can recognize, oh, okay, well, you don't have any emotion attached to the sport or to the gameplay. The only thing you have attachment to is the narratives, right? So the place where you start to get drove into the narrative land is when you talk about things like third downs, right? Now, do you want to discuss offensive third downs or defensive third downs? Tino. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. You can actually name your kid after somebody in the second quarter. Why do you think coaches get fired so fast at Miami? Why do you think coaches get fired so fast at Florida State or Florida? It's because they know you always have a roster that can beat anybody in the country on any given weekend.
Malik Cunningham went to the defense and told them, hey, we got you. You know what I'm saying? So that last year, that wouldn't have happened. They would have been over arguing. They would have been over fighting amongst each other, and they would have just quit. And I don't really at no point in the game thought that they would quit. But, hey, fellas, I appreciate y'all for letting me go, man. Long time no here. Yeah. I am listening to y'all. Don't worry about it. Marcus, you got to get the building playing, man. Like, I'm tired of listening and not hearing the playback music. Marcus, pay the money. Only time I call, I'm on you about paying the money. Pay the money, man. Like, I appreciate that.
Appreciate the call. Appreciate that. Yeah. Like I said, first and foremost, like again, when I talk about predictions in a game, I feel like the coaching and the execution is what's going to put us over the hump when I say, okay, we have players in the right positions that can beat a Miami, when executed properly. But I also can totally respect. I mean, when I talked about the Miami versus UAB game, I went through the UAB roster. I know what kind of athletes are on the UAB team. Like, people are so quick to try to dismiss. Again, we made this point. We made it last week, Steve. When UAB program closed, you had 20, or talk about closing, you had 25 people getting picked up by big-time programs. A lot of people getting picked up by big-time programs. There's some. Birmingham, Alabama has some good football and some talented athletes who get overlooked for the big SEC, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But here's the thing. Bringing it back to the strategy. Third downs, offense or defense, which one? Yeah. Where do you go first?
Offense for me. And the reason why when you asked that question, my mind was directly there was, okay, offense is what we know we're really good at. Mm-hmm. It's what we know we have the playmakers. There's no question. I know some people may not agree with me. I actually think we have some guys on defense. Like, I don't think – I think it was schematically more than it was personnel as to why those breakdowns happen. Mm-hmm. Some personnel. But I think you're going to see that change.
But you hear the coaches say in defense, unfortunately, in football, unfortunately, when you're in the games, there's a difference between your execution versus Western and your execution versus a team. These are natural. Okay, we thought he understood it, but under some real live fire or some intensified live fire, some people freeze or freelance or forget their assignments when you know it's college game day and and everybody is looking to be a star. I mean, these things are natural. These are natural discoveries. You always have talented guys who lose their discipline, lose their fundamentals in the game, especially in intense games, rather than practice. So like, of course, I can be the guy that says, "Well, why was he in the game?" It's because he didn't make that mistake in practice. He didn't make that mistake against Western Kentucky. He made it, he got away with that mistake here or there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I thought he learned his lesson, but now you get an entire game of this is why we tell you to do things this way, even though, yes, sometimes it works your way. But keep going.
Well, no. I mean, no, I agree with everything you're saying there, and that's why I think. But for me, it was offensively on third down. Offense. The one thing I come into this season, if I'm being not, I wouldn't even call it nitpicky. I mean, but the one thing I came into this season saying, okay, I know the offense is going to be really good. And I don't think the offense was necessarily bad. I mean, they got, they put up, I think, they put up over 500 yards offense, and did things. But still, that's what I said earlier, the numbers don't always reflect some of the moments. I just simply didn't like the goal line and the third down play.
Did you know where I was going with that? Or are you just saying independently you didn't like the play calling?
No, I don't know where you're going with that. I'm just saying independently, I didn't like it. I didn't necessarily like personnel that we put in. Again, and I'm very touchy about doing stuff like that because, again, I know it makes for necessarily. It's like, well, yeah, but you're a radio guy. Like, this shouldn't be. But I'm like, I don't necessarily claim to know the game of football or their system better than the coaches that are running it. So this is from my eye watching it. I thought a lot of times we ran Hassan Hall on third down when it didn't need. I thought a lot of times there was a couple times we had 3rd and 4s and it was a clear 2-down situation. The one time we threw an out route for about 1.5 yards. It's like, if we're going to do that, why not give Javian up the middle, man? Like we're moving the ball. Javian said, you said it earlier, the holes were there. I just thought it was a little bit of a failure once you got to the goal line and once you got to third down on the play calling that they were running. I mean, I can listen to, hey, we couldn't get it downfield. We just couldn't get it downfield. They were okay. I'm fine with that. But it just seemed it got a little bland. And that's something I've never really said about.
Here's the thing. I listen to you. I shake my head because I can see what you see on that, right? Sure. I can see the listeners shaking their head, yes, right now, right? And I can also offer a counter opinion to that one that can also be 100% true. I spotted something last game, Steve. I called it out, and okay, if I'm wrong about this one, we'll just act like it happened because a lot of people did. I thought it may have been you, but maybe it wasn't, right? Okay. Last game, Western Kentucky, I said, I don't like, and this was like our nitpicking segment. I said, I don't really like how Mikhail kept pulling the ball around the goal line. I don't like how he keeps pulling the ball on 4th and 2, right? Because it's a replica of last year's big play moments. The Evan Conley play is the exact play you run on 4th and 2 against Western Kentucky that almost got stopped, right?
Yeah.
We ran these plays down on the goal line last week, and I said, Mikhail, this is not a problem. This is not a problem. You got to give that ball up. The way we're marching that ball, and I said, it's just something subconsciously of Hassan Hall, the lineman, and Javian Hawkins all just saying, we just push this thing. It's a badge of honor for a line to run a 4-minute drill or 6-minute drill and run it straight into the end zone. That's a badge of honor. That's the Charlie Strong, that's how you finish a game. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's the feeling, right? You reward your offense with that run. And when he threw that pitch out pass that went low to Marshawn Ford, when he tried to run the sweep, he ended up leg whipping himself on that gate at the end of the game, right? That I'm sure probably still hurts. I said that is something that we need to address. It might not bubble to the top. It might not, Javian might not feel any way. Hassan might not feel any way. The offensive line might not feel any way, but the right thing to do was to finish the 4-minute drives with touchdowns going right up the gut. Right?
Right.
We get into these 3rd and 2s, these 3rd and 4s, whatever, 3rd and shorts. You would have to admit that most of these plays you saw, there was a dive option on most of these play calls. Would we agree with that?
Yeah.
Whatever play actions you see, or you see a dive option, right? Mikhail was pulling a lot of those 3rd and shorts. So this is the game I start to say, I feel you, Mikhail. You want to take the team on your shoulder. All the coaches have been saying is you got to be more of a leader. You got to be more of a leader. You got to be more vocal. You got to lead the team. Mikhail sees 3rd and 2, says, okay, leader, I have to make the play. But the more advanced quarterback sees Hassan Hall, this defensive end, rule number 1 is to stop me from getting loose. You know what I'm saying? They felt like their defensive front 4, or even 3 without the defensive end, can stop Javian Hawkins. But what you have to do is contain Cunningham, because they love to bring Marshawn. They love to do the little swing pass. But that dive is not getting the continuous touch, especially when that was where you were moving the ball the most, especially when Javian Hawkins says there's lanes out there all day. And here's the thing. I know there's going to be a backhand narrative that, the game was blown out. No, 2 touchdowns. 2 touchdowns and a field goal. When you have explosive offenses, that's not, you know what I'm saying? That's quick. That's quick strike. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of that 3rd down frustration came when it was a 2 touchdown game.
Sure.
That you end up, putting yourself. So you see what I'm saying? And you kind of brought it to my attention by telling me you think during halftime that was either addressed or talked about, because you started, like I said, even though you were down, you started handing off that dive more. To me, you give that dive early in the possessions, it frees you up. I said it last week. I said, Mikhail's not going to be free to run until he starts handing off the ball in those situations. There was not one situation where we felt like Javian Hawkins couldn't jump stop and bowling ball himself to a 1st down when he needs 2 yards.
Yeah.
If I tell you my Louisville offensive line could get Javian Hawkins 2 yards, Mikhail, we gotta learn this lesson. Leader does not mean, pull it. Leader means go tell your offensive line to get Javian this 2 yards. Sometimes.
Okay. Well, I have a question too. Do you think they don't trust Cunningham to throw a fly route? You know what I'm saying? Like in coverage. Do you get what I'm saying? Like okay, I've got a man out top, 1-on-1. Not a 2-2, not a.
You mean kind of a more of a jump ball?
Yeah,
kinda.
yeah, not a hey, I've got a guy running open on a post here, different things.
I don't.
But like I don't. I don't either. I just simply think they don't trust him.
Yeah, the only way they trust is if you can throw out in front of Green, where that extra man's in the box and he's going to be looking at Green where it's my guy or nobody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. See, I agree with that.
Yeah. Like.
Okay. Is that a problem?
It is a problem. It's a, put it this way. These things are. It's a triangle that depends on each other. That handoff, that slam, that Javian Hawkins up the middle you have to get that guy down in the box before you do that. And here's the thing, I think he'll do that. I think that's what Satterfield likes to see in his offense. You got to, whatever you do, you got to get that extra defender down there in the box. Because I just think I think that's what he does for his quarterbacks. I think that's why his quarterbacks put up the numbers they do at App State. That's why he was so successful with T.Y. Hilton. I think his style is predicated on making sure I get that guy down there in the box. But if the guy's not down in the box, that's why I say Malik had to get a lesson today on Saturday about letting his team do the work.
What about this text? This is something that I believe you'll agree, because you said this text says Malik needs to put some zip on the outside passes. He gets the ball to Tutu and Hassan a little quicker. They get first downs. Now, the reason I read that to you specifically is that's something you were saying to me the other night.
You have to let that thing. You have to let the thing go. But again, a Satterfield style throwing to grass, it calls for touch.
Yeah.
His run under the ball style is good for Satterfield, but limited. It kind of takes out, some of the playbook. But again, if he hands the ball off, if he gets that extra man in the box, his speed, becomes a factor. Here's the thing. And this is all growth, Steve. This is why I'm not why I'm not in super judgmental territory, because I can get a video. Malik Cunningham drops back. He runs up the sideline, makes an outstanding scramble up the sideline, right? He gets popped on that sideline, gets his legs taken out, lands on his hip, right?
Yeah.
And I go back, I'm coach. I get the all 22 film out, and I say, look at you running, and look at you running back. I said, you just got 10% slower because you took that hit on the sideline. Your 10% slower is costing you effectiveness. So now you take that hit on the sideline, right? Now you can't, you got a little dinged up hip now, right? Mm-hmm. So the next play where 15 is flushing you out the pocket, your hip is just still coming. I mean, you're still fast, but you're not fast. Yeah. Fast, outrun fast people and bad angles fast. Tutu outruns an angle. Mikhail, you're a fast guy, but you don't outrun those angles against fast defensive ends.
Sure.
I
agree with that.
So to me, it's all kind of, it's nitpicky, but it's growth play. It's places to grow, and listen. And it's okay for you to say, okay, these make you more vulnerable to giving up snaps.
Yeah.
Does Puma Pass play in that game if he's active? Does he play? Does he take a couple snaps to try to get a spark?
I don't. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah.
Listen. When Satterfield was asked, he said, "I think Malik played very average."
Yeah. No, he did. I mean, he didn't sound overly
enthralled,
impressed.
Right?
Yeah, with what Malik did. Now, I don't know that we're in any kind of a conversation there as far as.
Yeah, it's not position removal. I'm just saying snaps. Snaps to get you over here. Listen, it's game day. Listen, point guards, basketball players, big time games. 3 minutes in the game, you take your scorer out. You take your guy out. You say, hey, catch your breath, pass the ball, go get a couple of rebounds.
Right.
Go get me 3 rebounds before you shoot. Now, to the fan, what are you doing? You know, this is the biggest game of the year. You're taking our no. He needs to catch his breath, and he's not he's not reading the game. I think Malik in big games and big moments, I think he's not reading the game. He's trying to make a play, which you don't like spite him for that. Because you want your leader to try to lead, but you also, like I said, if he hands those, like I said, last week, Western Kentucky, you finished that drive with dives. You finish them with dives. I was convinced of that. Then I'm even triple convinced of it after the Miami game. You take the ball out of his hands to open up plays later on. It's not coincidence that, Ian Book and Trevor Lawrence and my guy for North Carolina, they're all wide open around the goal line. Yeah, and Malik is always outrunning people at the goal line. We all are running the same dive play with strong offensive linemen, but we know Mikhail is looking to pull that football 80 to 90% of the time. And Trevor's not, Ian Book's not, and what's my guy's name, Steve? Professional from North Carolina, and quarterback.
Sam Howell.
Yeah. We know he's looking to hand it off.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But the thing about that is once you change Malik's, kind of way of approaching that, you let him know with your speed, your 20 yards turns into a 70-yard touchdown in the fourth quarter. So you don't have 10 rushes for 43 yards with all these losses. You know what I'm saying? With all these negative plays. You have 5 rushes for 120. But it's hard to convince somebody and still let them be themselves. So that was kind of my third down. You got behind the 8 ball by trying to run it and going to the Marshawn pass and kind of, like I said, attempting to be a leader. You know what I'm saying? You're still like you're in your gut. You're not waiting for Dez. You know what I'm saying, to clear out. You're looking to run. You're not trusting the guys. You know what I'm saying? You're caught in trusting yourself as leader guy more than running the offense. Gotta learn that lesson.
Well, when we get back from the break, what do we do and where do we go from here? And can we bounce back next week? That's the questions.
93.9 The Ville.
I sing country music. I call myself true modern country.
Let's run away. Grayson Michael is a rising star in country music. He also just got engaged with help from Genesis Diamonds.
I got a ring twice as big as I thought I was going to be able to get.
Grayson shopped other stores, but nobody could beat Genesis.
The value was insane comparatively to what I looked at other local jewelers. There was just absolutely no comparison.
But beyond the price, Grayson just loved the experience at Genesis. The relaxed feel, the education.
Not pushy at all, which I really liked. Most of us guys, we don't really know a lot about diamonds. They help educate you so you can decide what's important to you and what's best for your purchase.
He ended up with a spectacular Henry Dawsey designer ring that his fiance loves to show off.
When people compliment her ring, I always say thank you.
Genesis Diamonds.
It's just unmatched. The price, the quality, and the service. Genesis Diamonds is the only place you want to go for your diamond purchase. They'll take care of you, and you'll take care of your lady.
Shelbyville Road Plaza.
Love getting prices that are lower than low on backyard favorites like grill-ready hamburgers and fresh-picked strawberries? Then shop at Kroger. We give you more ways to save on the fresh you love with tools like the Kroger app, where you can find personalized coupons on top of weekly sales. Plus, rewards like fuel points, giving you prices that are lower than the everyday low. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
GE Appliance Park is now hiring full-time positions, and for a limited time, second shift new hires are eligible for a $500 incentive. Apply today at makeitathepark.com. GE Appliances. We make good things for life.
Week 2 of football is in the books. There's no better place to get in on all of the Week 3 action than with DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app. To add to the excitement of Week 3, DraftKings Sportsbook is giving all new users the chance to turn $1 into $100 when they bet on any team. That's right, you can place a $1 bet on any team, and if that team wins, you cash a cool Benjamin. Download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code WLCL when you sign up to get this can't-miss offer. Pick any team during Week 3. Bet $1 on them and win $100 if they win. That's $1 to win $100 when you use promo code WLCL during sign-up. For a limited time, only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older. Indiana only. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Whatever your goal, only you decide your level of effort, commitment, and hydration. Body Armor Sports Drink is the choice for today's athletes. Body Armor Sports Drink contains no artificial sweeteners, flavors, or dyes. It's made with potassium-packed electrolytes, antioxidants, and coconut water to hydrate you while working out or working on your game. Body Armor Sports Drink. Only you decide what to put in. Only you can make you better. Body Armor Sports Drink is available at your local Kroger. Don't miss out on the 10 for 10 sale going on now for a limited time.
I'm Tom Shane. Our team at Shane Company is so welcoming, you'll feel like you're shopping with a friend. You can ask us anything.
Hi, I'm Brady, a Shane Company jewelry consultant. Recently, a customer told me he wanted to get his girlfriend an engagement ring that would make her jaw drop. A ring that didn't look like anyone else's ring. I asked him if he had ever considered a sapphire for the center stone. A colorful sapphire will really make her ring stand out. At Shane Company, we're famous for our natural sapphires. We have over a dozen colors: peach, green, lavender, black, 3 shades of blue, and more, in every shape and size imaginable. Handpicked by Tom Shane himself.
In Bangkok, after choosing only the most beautiful sapphires, I determined how each one should be cut to maximize its life and fire.
They're the most beautiful sapphires you can find.
Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and Shaneco.com.
Hey guys, Nick Valvano here. Falling asleep lately has been difficult for me, and I'm sure for a lot of folks during these stressful times. Kentucky's Best Hemp has helped me fall asleep faster and feel more relaxed at night. You can't trust just any CBD company, but Kentucky's Best Hemp has been vetted by a third party to ensure purity and CBD levels and live up to the name Kentucky's Best Hemp. Visit KYSBestHemp.com and get 30% off your first order with promo code NICK30. That's KYSBestHemp.com.
Here's what you missed on the Diener Show.
Can we talk? I can't believe this is about leaving my notes at home. Screws everything up. The ads on the ACC network. They've got the cup call thing. Yeah, the Hurricane Chill. Projects. That was the game. Projects. Looks like the worst. It looks like Duck Hunt, like the beta version of Duck Hunt. I mean, it looks like prehistoric.
Weekday morning, 7 to 10 on 93.9 The Ville, ESPN 680 and 105.7.
Welcome back. Welcome back. It's Middays with Marcus Bateman, 8150. 93.9 is the number. 93.9 is the station. I forget. Nikki, I forget that I trust you to find non-copyrighted beats. I forgot about that. So if you're going to... Say that again? No, listen. We share everything. We share everything on YouTube. So when you're talking to me during break, everybody likes to hear our back route conversation. So just know next time you. I should have warned. I should have warned you. I should have warned you about the hemp conversation. I should have warned you about talking about your dad. Yeah, YouTube. Yeah, so if your dad's looking at YouTube right now, he heard you. But no. But here's the thing. I won't have to do the on mute, off mute to the listeners if you want to hunt down uncopyrighted material, and or if people want to send you. What is your Twitter?
Me?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes, Nikki, promote your Twitter.
Oh, okay. All right. Appreciate that. It's Nikki V ESPN, and the V and the ESPN are all capitalized, so it's Nikki Vespin is what we call it.
Does that really
I had
matter?
the worst Twitter handle on the planet. It had underscores. It was a nickname that no one called me. When it was just really bad. And so, your former midday counterpart,
Yep.
Lachlan McLean, berated me on air and made sure I changed it. And honestly, it was probably the best thing he ever did. For me or the station. To be honest.
Fair enough. We did the same. Like, Marcus had some I can't remember what his used to be back in the day. What was yours back in the day? Mine was like Stiz 502. And it was like
Sniz?
No, Stiz, like S-T-I. Listen,
Stizzle Rummage.
It was like something. Terrence Farley
Stilo
he
Rummage.
used to call me that. Yeah, he started calling me Stiz, and I was like, okay. So I just used it as my Twitter name because I made Twitter with him, like when we made Twitter, and him and Jeremy Wallman. I was like, we were sitting around making Twitter, and we were like, oh, okay, well, it's back in like 09. You
don't remember what
this will never last. This is Facebook. It's Twitter's Facebook. That's what those conversations we were having.
Did you still have a MySpace in 2009?
No. Close.
I was just saying, it was like that was right around the time it went away.
Man. Yeah, my MySpace page was sick.
You don't remember my
beats? No, what was yours? Yours was like, because it was something silly. Because I changed it to Steve.
Texters. What was my old Twitter handle?
Gosh, what was it, man? I remember it.
That is so funny.
Like
Texter.
Card something or
Texters. What was
like had nothing to do with anything.
It was awesome. Mine was awesome.
No, I feel like it was good.
My Twitter was awesome.
It was like card something or something.
Was five involved in it?
I'm not giving away. Are you reading the text line? Somebody knows. And if nobody knows,
Mayday. That was his email.
If nobody knows what mine was, I'm going to be hugely disappointed.
Yeah, because it's like, wow, it must not.
It must not have had any effect
like you thought.
That I thought. Yeah.
Thanks for the follow, you jackass.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
But here's the thing. I hit like 9,000 under my old name. And then people
that's a flex right there. I've had one Twitter handle and I've only had I'm approaching the level of I follow 2 times as many people as follow me, which is just gross.
See, I was wondering.
I'm
I was trying to find the line on that one.
Some people.
See, Nikki, I was trying to find the line. Like, how many follows is too much, as opposed to how many followers you have.
How many people do you follow?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, it's bad. It's like 3,800 and probably about 2,500 follow me.
How many people do I follow?
Good job, Craig. Craig Hensley. Great job.
Okay. I follow 1,400 people.
But Nikki, you have to follow everybody. Like your job is to have a contact list bigger than anybody else's. Like that's
true.
That's fair.
It's my job to follow him, but I'm gonna be honest with you. Like I'd say, like what?
No, sorry. The mouse was like I was looking at the screen and the mouse was moving by itself, and I was like, oh my god! But I realized that it kind of freaked me out, but I realized the mouse was being pulled off the table.
Oh, by the wire. Okay.
What would be the ghost of the 93.9 that they'll
Oh my god. Oh, the ghost of the 93.9.
Oh, that's so simple. No. You know who the ghost is. Steve, do better than that.
The ghost of 93.9.
I thought Rutherford was pretty strong.
No. The ghost of 93. Listen, the ghost of 93.9 is one person, and I just need you to think about it, Steve. And I am channeling to your brain.
Who it is.
I know you know, Nikki, and Steve should know.
Of 93.9.
I am listen. God damn it, Nikki. Let Steve
Spencer.
figure it out.
Spencer.
Let
was
Steve
my answer.
Robbins. No,
Spencer was my answer.
See what I'm saying, Steve? I was.
Nick just said it, but I knew.
I was literally trying to use what is it? ESP. You know, just
ESPN.
Yeah, I was trying to use ESPN.
Well, I was going to say Jeremy, so. So you were doing a terrible job.
No, it's Spencer.
I think you were hitting Crean with the ESP there.
Yeah.
Crean just shot up and was just like started giving like Casey Royal takes.
Did Crean know Spencer?
Crean, did you know Spencer?
Really?
No, I never met him.
Oh my God!
I got
Listen,
a lot in common.
listen, people.
You think you'd what?
I think I'm lucky based on what I've heard.
Listen.
He's a good dude.
Listen.
Spencer was good dude.
Listen. It ended with Steve and Spencer when we were at Freedom Hall.
Yeah, that is true.
That's when they're. Listen,
whoa, what's this story?
It ended. Listen, it ended that day, and then the funeral service was the day Spencer Keatsman said, "You think politics has something to do with the Louisville Kentucky rivalry? I mean, like, how ridiculous is politics being affected by the rivalry?"
Yeah.
He said that to Steve, and Steve was just like, I mean, it was like one of those. I don't think I've met a less intelligent person in all of my life than when Spencer said, and he was yelling like he was in that producer booth yelling at Marcus and yelling at Steve. It was almost one of those. Hold on, first check your tone.
Yeah.
Second of all, check your tone.
Mm-hmm.
Third of all, if you don't think rivalry and politics are intertwined in Louisville versus Kentucky, how long have you been here?
Yeah, it was. Listen, and that's why that day I was kind of like, okay, you don't. And I actually told him on the air. I'm pretty sure I said, well, with all due respect, you don't know anything. So,
you don't belong here.
Yeah. But the day
this happened in the press box.
No, in this room.
In that studio. He was sitting right where you're sitting, Mickey, yelling at us through the window.
I thought it started at Freedom
Hall. No,
Hall.
these are two separate incidents.
Freedom Hall was just, it was the most...
I had to answer a phone, so I apologize.
It was the most disrespectful moment I've ever had in my life. They were having
it was the worst.
They were in there, and there was an open court, right? And Spencer was like, I'll play Steven one-on-one. Or something like that, and I'm like, I mean, like, for money? Well, what are you talking about? Like, 'cause you're talking to me like, you know, and I'm like,
he had loafers on, and he was like, I can take you. Like, let's do this right now. He wasn't drinking.
Spencer was like, wow, maybe. I mean, I guess we don't have to because you have Sperry's on.
Oh, that's what it was. That's what.
I'm like. So I literally have to look at this guy, and I'm like, I've never been so disrespected. It would be like if some kid walked up that was about, and I mean, I'm not the baddest dude on the planet, but you know, like a 5'8", $120 kid walked up and just smacked me right in the face, and looked at me and was like, "Punk." I'd be like, I don't even know what to do.
Like, well, I've got two questions. One, are you a jockey? Because if that's the case, then
yes.
go on your way, sir.
Sure.
I'm not messing with you.
No, fair.
But and if you're not, then
listen,
do you have any loved ones? You probably want to call them. Right
The challenge felt so absurd that it was almost like, oh, okay. You ever see the guys at like the pool hall and they do these trick shots and they say, I bet I can make this 9 ball go around that ball 17 times with only one hit of the stick. And then, and then they do some kind of stupid little trick, and you know what I'm saying? And then technically it goes around 17. Right. But it's like, it looks, actually it was a 7 and an 8 ball. So the total number was 17. So I won. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
right, well, smoke and mirrors.
Yeah. It's like, what does he have up his sleeve? Because I'm looking at Steve like,
because I'm like,
oh my God.
You don't think I can't beat you with Sperry's?
I'm thinking this is going to turn into one of those, like, Charlie Murphy, like true Hollywood stories, like true ESPN Louisville stories. Steve Rummage. Like, the cat could ball. Like, Spencer is just,
and that slipped into my head.
Yes.
Too. I'm like, he's awful confident. I'm like,
because the dude can golf. I mean, he's a good freaking golfer.
But I knew that. So like, if he was like, if we were out there and he's like, oh, let's go right now, long drive.
But also there's another problem, Nikki. There's another huge problem. Nikki, you can tell within 7 seconds of somebody getting on the ice and picking up their stick and 3 taps of the puck, you can tell how, you can almost identify immediately.
You can tell in the locker room, and also based on what they say. Oh, I used to play hockey. First up, no, you probably didn't.
Yes.
Picking off like street hockey, we all did. Thanks.
Yes.
Like,
because he said something like, let's do some hoops or something, and it was like that was like, bing. That was like red flag.
Was what he said.
Yes.
He was like, I could beat Steve in hoops.
Yes. So that was like red flag number 1.
I went home. I'm looking at myself like at the closest mirror, and I'm like, do I look that? Because if I fell off this bad,
how washed am I?
I know. Do people look at me and just go, "Oh, I could beat him"?
Listen, listen. I need to call somebody. I need to lose 50 pounds immediately. Because
if I'd have known about vitality back then, I'd be like, today, vitality,
Sterling.
Yeah, because it's obvious what I see in the mirror is not what somebody else sees. And it's a problem.
I thought he was going to make a joke like, "Oh, well, give me 15 or 16, and we'll play to 24." Then I would have been like, "Oh, well, okay, all right." He's making all right, but I'm like, I still probably would have won. But I'm like, dude. So, anyways, needless to say, it was the most disrespectful thing. Real quick, we want to get to Philly Carl.
Yeah, absolutely.
Philly Carl, welcome in, man. What's going on?
Man, I listened to the whole show, and Rummage, you took the high road. Wasn't no shots fired, but I called because of you, Marcus. I'm not that fan that ducks and dives at the radio when we lose. Yes, we suck right now, but I don't duck and dive. So I said, even at the end, I'm going to make sure that I call, even though I've been listening to y'all the whole hour. Okay. And the whole time, Rummage didn't fire any shot.
I know.
Yeah, but here's the only thing, Rummage. I'm glad that Brian takes the shows. A couple months ago, you didn't want to pay that. You didn't think that was worth it. And you come in there today talking about the 300 and 400 yards he threw. I said, I'm so sick of you Cowboy fans.
He's awesome. He's worth every dime. He's a $40 million quarterback.
Yeah, he's going to get
his money.
2 months ago, you didn't want to give him a dime. Oh, Robert, you get on my nerves sometimes.
Well,
man, y'all have a good one.
The economy changes.
Robert, get on my nerves.
The economy changes, Phil. The economy changes.
Fair enough.
He's $40 million. He's $40 million now. Speaking of.
Ooh. I mean, it was, listen, it was in the chamber just in case I had to go down that road, Steve. But I left about 6 in the chamber that we're going to be discussing all week. There's going to be some energy all week long. Y'all better get ready for Pittsburgh, though. I know that much. Come on, Lions. Come on, Cubs. Go, Cubs, go. As always, 8150-939 is always the number. 3831-939 is always the text line. The YouTube channel. It's made for the Ville. Middays with Marcus Maven on 939 The Ville.